The Secretary of the Air Force, Heather Wilson, recently offered some unusually strong support for the A-10 Warthog, going so far as to say she is a fan of a plane her service has been looking for ways to retire for decades. This might be because she knows that, at least as of yet, there is still no formal requirement for a dedicated replacement close air support-focused aircraft or clear conclusions about how to otherwise provide a similar capability in the future. In a letter dated December 12, 2017, the Office of the Secretary of the Air Force denied a Freedom of Information Act request related to the replacement of the A-10, but was still compelled to offer significant new details in order to justify the decision. The missive both confirmed that the Air Force had put together a set of draft requirements for a notional AX aircraft to replace the A-10, but did not formalize them, and that the service still has yet to make a final decision on what to do with the documentation at all. In April 2016, I submitted the FOIA request, which asked for copies of any records sent to, from, or within the Office of the Deputy Chief of Staff for Strategic Plans and Requirements regarding the drafting of these requirements. The department found 50 pages of relevant documents, but determined that no formal requirements came out of the General Holmes' April 2016 referenced CAS, Close Air Support, Platform Requirements Development, according to the letter. All documentation concerning this matter is Action Officer, 8.0, level internal pre-decisional, deliberative information, where it was determined that responsive record or not decision document or otherwise validated a final decision. U.S. government agencies subject to the FOIA can legally withhold information on the grounds that it covers ongoing internal matters and that making the details public could prejudice the final outcome or give the false impression that the U.S. government might pursue a certain course of action. This exemption is also one that experts say is among those that agencies most often abuse as a tool to avoid release potentially controversial or embarrassing records, going so far as to nickname it the withhold it because you want to exemption whether the Air Force is legitimately withholding the records or not. It is significant that after more than a year, the service has left the draft AX requirements in this sort of bureaucratic limbo. It is a far cry from how General Holmes suggested the process would go in April 2016. My requirements guys are in the process of building a draft requirements document for a follow-on CAS airplane, he said at an Air Force Association breakfast on April 7, 2016. I have seen a draft of it, it's out for coordination. It'll go to the Chief of Staff sometime this spring, and then we'll fold that into the larger study we're doing on the future of the combat air forces. In July 2016, the officer again suggested that the Air Force was actively looking at replacement close air support aircraft, including a potential two-part concept. According to Holmes, this proposal would include a light attack aircraft in the near term to complement the A-10, followed by a more capable and survivable design, dubbed the AX-2. The light attack plane portion led to the capability assessment of non-light attack platforms, an experimental technology demonstration also known as OAX. The AX-2 component is yet to materialize in any form. In June 2016, then Air Force Chief of Staff Mark Welsh did describe an idea for a flying Coke machine as an A-10 replacement, but it was unclear whether this concept was limited to a new aircraft, which might be manned or unmanned, or if it might be a whole network of new systems and tactics, techniques, and procedures for close air support missions.